searching the dark side of the mountain. Through my bones and hair and blood, words rise and cold snatched from my mouth to sink them into the cold black mud.
Why are we walking this way, Gabriel?
I just want to have a conversation. I haven't had a chance to have a good conversation with you alone since I've been back. That's all.
Well, we're glad you're back, that's for sure.
Well, I'm happy that I'm back too. It's better than the option. It's better than what's going on with Otis. But anyways, I did have a question for you. You know, who are your friends? When I left, I know you had one batch, but that was years ago.
I mean, I'm friends with everybody that goes to school for the most part in my age. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not a recluse. I do not hide from my friends. I have friends everywhere.
I'm sure you do. You, how about that wooden girl, Alexis Woodens? Lexi Woodens, maybe?
Oh, there is one wooden girl in school, but I have not seen her in quite some time.
Yeah?
I don't remember her this year even at school.
Really?
Last year, I remember one of the Woodens. I mean, I don't remember her name, but I do know that, I mean, you said Lexi, so I guess it's Lexi or Lexin or whatever, but she was, if I remember correctly, she was very much a wallflower even in the classroom.
That might have been Thea Woodens.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not.
Nah. Do you, some games going on over by the old graveyard?
I have heard that there are sometimes boys that like to go to the graveyard area with booze, so I do not go that way. That don't sound like a safe thing to be doing.
I applaud you for your sense of intelligence on that. I wish I had half as much when I was your age, but then again, I was one of those boys taking the booze to the graveyard, so take that for what it was. No, the oddest thing happened back a couple days back with I know you heard the rumor about the girl floating in the air. You can't have not at this point.
I did hear that.
Yeah. So I happened to have been there.
I've been praying on it all weekend. I do not want any of that in our lives.
No one should. No one should. But I happened to talk to the girl afterwards, and it was the damnedest thing. She said it was her and a bunch of other kids, and I list off some of the names that was also with that.
I know that one and that one, and she knows a lot of them, not all of them, but
yeah.
A lot of them.
So, do those all usually run in a group together? Any of those the kind of boys that take the booze out to? I ain't getting no one in trouble.
Some of those, yeah.
Some of them are.
Yeah, okay. A couple of the older boys, they're definitely ones to go visit the graveyard.
Okay. So do you happen to know? Do you know again? And I'm not getting no one in trouble with this, but do you happen to know how often they go out to the graveyard that way?
I don't. It's not really. I don't hang out with that crowd. I know them.
Not the people you run with. I understand that. You're smarter than I was. And then I switched the topic back over to more, comfortable conversation, just, catching up with my sister, opening up to her for the first time in weeks.
Yeah, it's very pleasant.
Yeah.
You get home, you head into the evening, and it is an unincidental Sunday. It is still cold. Matter of fact, it might even be colder. The ice is still frozen over. There's barely a wind at this point, but it is still snowing. And it's been about a foot dropped in the last 2 days, so it is not something to take lightly. So people are, of course, bringing in extra wood and getting their fireplace running. The chimneys are smoking. early in the morning, Albie, you are awakened by the smell of breakfast wafting across the house, and you are immediately interested in waking up. You also know that it's a work day. Darn it, it is a Monday.
Breakfast again, work again. Leanne, is breakfast ready?
And you don't hear nothing. You just hear the cooking, and then it's ready. It'll be ready in a minute. I assume the smell will wake you up.
Yeah. I get up and I grab my stuff because I know as soon as I eat, I gotta leave.
Yeah.
And
You can smell the biscuits. You know that she makes pretty mean drop biscuits, and
you got the gravy with those biscuits.
And then you smell the coffee gravy. That is the best part of the whole dang meal. Bacon cooking, and it's so weird. The bacon is the least important part of this meal, and you know it is. Oh.
Yeah.
When you look out, you see the gray white snow kind of whipping around in the wind. There's a little bit of a wind picking up. A little, what would be a dirt devil, but made of snow, kind of whips by, and it's kind of mesmerizing. And come on, you gotta eat. Let's go.
Another beautiful day. Then I come out there, sit down.
She's in her pretty green apron and cooking, and sit on down. And when you sit, she drops a biscuit on the plate, pours some coffee gravy over it. There's bacon on the table already. And your mother says, I know you love your bacon. Your father will be back later. He had an early meeting with the co-op, so when there's nothing said, what's the matter? Cat got your tongue?
Oh.
Well, come on, sit down. Enjoy your breakfast. Took me all morning to make it.
This is my mother?
Yeah, of course. It's your mother. You woke up at home.
Yeah. And I feel like something feels off, but I'm just not quite sure. So I sit down, start eating.
So what's your plans? You only got a few more days before you head out. You sure about this? I mean, I don't even think you can change your mind at this point. You have already signed on the dotted line, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Mama. I can't.
War, I do want to say, though, war ain't nothing for a child. You're big and all, but you need to grow up right quick. I'd like to see you I'd like to see you come back,
Yeah.
Before
Mama,
you leave, you should grow up a bit.
I mean, I feel like I've already grown up quite a bit, but I don't know if I should be thankful that you see me so young still, or insulted that you don't think I'm old enough to do what's right for the country.
Only a child would lie about their age to sign the document to get them into the army. That is
Listen,
when you have
Bill's going, Sam's going, Gabe's going, his cousin's going. We're all going. I can't let them go by themselves. We made a promise to each other that we'd always have each other's back, that we would always stick together no matter what, and we would all come back home together.
To be honest, I don't worry as much about them as I do you. I think you are a little bit on the you like the rough and tumble, and it can put you into a dangerous position here and there, and the others are a little bit more calm demeanored, if you know what I mean.
Well,
Less
there has
risk.
to be one that's willing to take the risk to help the others. I guess I'm the one that takes the risks.
Eat up. Your biscuit's going to get cold.
Right. It starts.
And the door opens, and Leanne is standing there as it closes with a couple eggs. Now hold your horses. I'm making a couple eggs too. Don't eat the whole breakfast before the eggs are done.
Well, I don't need the eggs right now. You guys have the eggs. More eggs for y'all. I'll take extra some little more bacon with me.
What do you
that way I
mean?
have it on the run.
What do you mean? It's just you and I here. What are you talking about? She looks around like, what? What do you mean by that?
Sorry, Lee.
Look at me. Are you okay? Were you drinking again last night with
Actually,
Gabriel?
Maybe the problem was I wasn't drinking last night because I didn't have anything last night.
It could be, but I don't know. I don't think
think
that's how alcohol works, to be honest.
I think she sees his hand twitching on the table,
All right.
and he just puts his other hand on it to like stop it.
Let me get you a coffee. The coffee is made. It just needs to be poured. Give me a moment. She pours it, and she brings the coffee over, and she puts it down in front of you. Drink up. You need some of that warmth.
Yeah,
And when you grab it, she puts her hands over your hands, and she looks at you and says, I gotta say, I'm worried about you. Sometimes you say things that scare me a little bit, and this was one of those moments. I think you're going to be fine, but sometimes it's like you brought the war back with you. And it is hard to see sometimes, but I am glad you're employed, you have good work. You may want to take care of the amount of drinking you're doing or the amount of those pills. I don't even know what they do, but I'm not sure I trust
them.
They help
with the pain. I got headaches constantly. They help with the headaches.
All right. Well, I'm here for you if you ever need anything.
I know you are.
You're my big brother, and I appreciate you taking care of us. I did not mean that comment I made yesterday was out of line and really not where my heart is.
No, you're not wrong either. You're not entirely wrong. I could be more present.
And you hear the school bell ring off in the distance. Oh, you got to get going quick because the school's about to open, so you're going to need to go.
I love you, Liam.
I love you too. You need to get on the road.
All right. And I grab a couple extra pieces of bacon, shove them in my pocket. You know, gotta have that pocket bacon.
Yeah, that's why I have a greasy pocket all the time.
That's right.
And you head on out. Gabriel, you need to take. What?
I will say one thing he does do this time when he leaves is he leaves the flask today to make sure it isn't the alcohol.
Angus, you hear you get up early, of course, as usual. What do you do about Thea?
I go up to.
Is she going to school or is she just going to work? Either way is.
I anticipate that I wake up before Thea.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah. She's like. Yesterday took a lot out of her. So like she's just as soon as she got home she would just I imagine you showed her a room with a bed and then she just brought
you went
what was that?
You went quiet
your mic
there.
cut off. So you crawled into bed. Well, okay. Yeah, so what Angus would do is like seeing Thea still in bed, he would just like kind of like stomp into like the room and actually just like not only open the blinds but just open the window to let the air in.
Right. Light and cold all at once.
she's just
It's blinding and shivering all at the same time.
here
Come
no
on, I need your help with the traps.
traps. Okay. Traps. We're doing traps today.
But before I go to work, I set up like traps like around my house just to like, just to like catch little critters here and there just for
She just closes the window and gets dressed.
You hear in the distance the school bell ring kind of echoes through the town.
She just bemoans her existence. Good old days, as things made sense. And then she just pulls her coat together and tries to find Angus outside. I'm guessing you're outside.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And Angus is like, now I got work, so what are Ewan's gonna be doing? I don't know. Do kids your age go to school or?
Scott, did they go to school at 17?
They could. There are some kids that do, some don't. Depends on if they needed it and didn't have work to do.
Okay. Well, school. I could go to school. But if you need work done around here, I could try and do it. Keyword try.
Atta girl. All right, so we need to patch up these walls, and like it's like an old-fashioned house, and like I'm trying to remember what it is, but I think they actually use like kind of like tar like paper to actually kind of like patch up
Yeah,
some of like
Yep.
yeah
Old newspaper
yeah
held with glue or tar in some cases, or even mud and stuff that has been mixed up to make it sticky.
She just has wide eyes at this bucket of tar. Delightful. Oh, this is great.
I'm glad you think so. Now let me show you how it's done.
Yes, Mr. Bell. Mr. Bell.
So you teach her how to do chores before you head out to your work.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he gives me. I imagine he tells me a couple of things to do.
Yeah.
So she will definitely try to do those things because, you know, she wasn't taught to be lazy. She was taught to be diligent. She just didn't do physical labor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so she like there's like a bit of fussing as she like rolls her sleeves up because she doesn't want to get her only coat like covered in tar. So she's rolling that up and then goes, okay, and just puts it into the paper into the tar, and then she's like, well, do we just place it on the wood?
Yeah, you just lay it plainly. We don't want any gaps. You know, the weather's been getting very airish. We need to prep up.
Okay, so she just does her best. Like I imagine,
And
like
here, I can see you're a little fussy with your, and like he kind of gestures to like your clothes, and he walks out, and he like actually like brings in like kind of like another dress, but it's more like homely. It's more of like as yeah, this was my sister's, but I think it might fit you nicely. See, you're fussing with your fancy clothes.
she has her normal clothes on.
Oh, okay.
She does have fancy clothes, but everyone also has normal clothes.
Okay.
But
okay.
I imagine her normal clothes are also just nicer in general.
They look
just,
fancy to me.
Yeah, she's just like, well, I only got one pair, too, but thank you. This makes it 3. And I'll get changed right away. And then she just dips out, comes back with the dress on. It's probably too big on her, but she just rolls the sleeves up. Are we outside or inside for patching this house?
You're probably patching from the inside.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Okay, yeah. So she gets back down there and starts putting up the patchwork. Uses the like excess. Uses the like extra newspaper to wipe the excess of the tar off. Like she's not dumb. She just doesn't know how to work. And then after like some labor, she's like, "Well," just sort of gestures at it.
Well, he leaves after a little while. He's got to get to work, and he is not a late person.
Yeah. So he
Yeah.
probably just does like one demo and is like, "Okay, bye." And she's like,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So she does her work. It's a bit shoddy, and well, it's not shoddy. It's closer to just messy because she doesn't know what she's doing, and she's like, "Well, I don't think a draft's gonna get in." And then she just like takes another newspaper and goes to like, just... I don't know if I'm making this worse.
And when you're doing this work, a few hours after Gus left, you see something kind of dark move past one of the windows. There aren't many windows, by the way, and the ones that are here are kind of small.
Was it like a person-sized thing?
You just saw kind of a darkness past the window.
It's weird and saying nothing all day, and then she goes over the window, looks around,
And sort of a shadow passes in front of it, and in the shadow there are eyes. 3 of them, and they open up, each one kind of looking at you, and then they go past the window, and you see something like a deer-sized wolf with eyes all over its body, and it runs off into the woods.
She just stares. So this thing came through the window and
It
then
walked
back
past
out.
the window,
Okay, just walked by.
and there were
Did it
eyes
see
all
it?
over its body. And
Did
the
it see
eyes-
me?
It
looking
saw
at it?
you, for sure.
Saw it looking at me and me looking at it, and she's just like, "Hey." She just sort of puts her back to the wall and sinks onto the floor. Like, what tarnation was that? Did Angus leave any kind of firearm at the house?
Of course, there's a firearm right above the fireplace.
She goes over and she grabs the firearm and is like, "I don't know how to use this." Just holds it.
We're going to come back to you. Ashley, you hear the rumble of a train in the distance. You have a train coming in a couple of hours, you know. Or in an hour, I mean. So you get up and out, and you prepare. You have to turn one of the tracks, make sure they come in, and all the things you got to do. But when you get up there, you find laying across the track there is a large deer carcass, and there are crows all over it, and it is laying across the tracks. And the murderer is enjoying their peaceful meal.
Well, this won't do. All right, shoo off. I gotta.
And when you shoo them away, they flutter away, and you can see that it has been eaten from most of its innards have been eaten. It's been just big bites of deer have been torn away, and this deer is lying across your tracks. And the crows are trying to come back, by the way. They do not jump very far before they land and start bouncing their way back to get bits and pieces.
Well, you all at least made it easier to slug this thing off, and I get some rope. If the neck is still intact, I guess I'll tie it up on the neck and try and pull the body off the tracks.
The neck is intact.
All right. So I get it all roped up and roll everything up and start pulling it off.
And you start pulling, and you hear it go, "Arr!" And then its head drops limp again, and you hear it or feel it slide off the tracks, and the tracks are up on a raised up platform, and it kind of slides into the ditch on the side, into a mass.
Still alive there. Do I see like any notion of like its nostrils going, trying to get air? Or...
No.
No, Ashley, don't be paying no mind to anything. I just
You hear the train going off, the train whistle in the distance, and over the hill ridge you see the smoke puffs rising.
All right. I don't
The crows
claim my whole. Yeah, I don't reclaim my whole rope. I just sort of like cut it off. I don't want to touch anywhere close to the deer anymore. I sort of start taking paces backwards and watching the smoke come, but staying off the track.
The crows reclaim their prize. There's no more movement from the deer. Gabriel, you hear, "Get up! I want you to take the girls to school. I got a box of gifts for Miss Margaret. I'd like you to carry them. Come
That
on,
would be my mother?
Gabriel. You can't sleep all day every day."
That would be my mother.
It's your mother.
Yeah. I stand up, get myself dressed up, proper such. Yes, mother. Close the door behind me, make my way down the stairs. All right. I do a quick count. So for school age, that would be Rebecca, Leander, and Josanna, correct?
Yes.
Perfect.
All right, I made these cookies for their teacher. I want to make sure that they get to them, and I do not trust that these children will let those cookies arrive undisturbed.
On my honor, mother, they will make it to the school.
And she hands each one of them one cookie and says, "This is for you not eating the rest of those things and not beating up your brother and taking those cookies. You can eat them, you can share them, whatever you want to do. I don't really care about that. I just want Miss Margaret to get her cookies. It is Christmas week, last 3 days before we have time off."
All right, let's go.
And they all start walking with you, and Rebecca looks at you, and she kind of sighs.
We gonna be honest this time?
We're honest. It's.
Mm-hmm.
Are you bleeding right now? Because I'm bleeding right now, and I do not feel like I need to be going to no school.
Unfortunately for you, that is your prerogative on that, and I'll be honest.
And your mother's like,
if you have
say things like that. And she's, "I'm sorry, mother. Just, don't feel good right now." Well, little school will do you good.
Once we're clear of the house, my mother's ear. If you don't want to go to school today, why don't you go see Auntie? Just make sure you're home in time. I ain't gonna tell no one.
All right, but I need to walk at least to school because I don't
I
want
know.
the other ones to say nothing.
I know.
I'm good with that. Okay.
Just make sure you're home in time.
I'll definitely make sure of that. Oh my God, I'd love to see Auntie. She's so good. She's amazing.
She also can help you.
Help me.
Just tell her what's going on. She can help you.
Oh yeah. Okay, that would be even more amazing. Oh, thank you. And you get to the school, and as you're nearing the school, you can see there's kids kind of making their way towards. There's like a dark shroud kind of passes over the school as the kids are gathering. Yeah, you look up, and the shroud is almost in the shape of a bird, it seemed. But then when you look up, you realize that is actually just a cloud with a big lump in the middle and a couple smaller ones that reach out from the sides. But it was kind of an interesting perspective that it provided. And a couple older kids are plucking at a guitar and fiddle not too far away, getting ready, and the girl's playing with some bells, and they start playing a song. It reminds you of a song from France, maybe, played by those Romani players. And a bell rings out loud, and people, kind of a throng of them, pass you up, dancers and drinkers, of course, because there's always drinkers. They kind of rush past you, and you hear a voice. "Pardon, nous sommes sur le point de commence." And standing on a small wooden crate is a woman there, raven black hair singed by blue winter firelight, gray eyes looking deeply at all. And she raised her hand with a contraption of wood and silver. A gun, perhaps? Maybe not. And then a bell rings out. And her voice is like a songstress. It is not sweet as much as soul-touching.
Fiery.
Yeah, perhaps fiery. And then you hear, "Come along, children. Inside, let's get started." And you see Miss Margaret is standing right in front of you, like you almost walked into her and knocked her off. She is standing on a crate to be a little bit taller for the children to see and hear. And as you're standing there, she brings her bell down between your face and hers. And the throngs of kids start rushing in. You okay? Look like you've seen a ghost. Kids are bumping into you as they're heading in. And
Ms. Margaret, I don't believe we've had the pleasure.
I see you are bringing your youngins here.
Not mine by chance, but my mother's.
So your siblings.
Go on. Yes.
And they head in.
Speaking of for you, Miss Margaret, I do believe I have a package from my mom just for you.
Well, tell your mother I am so thankful for this, and I'll open it when the children aren't around, because if I open it with them around,
you won't have a
and
single one of those
she puts her
left.
nose to it. Yeah, if I open it any time before then, there will be nothing left for me at home. Maybe I'll give them each a little cookie, or a little whatever this baked goods. But thank you.
Parlez-vous, Francois?
Excuse me, I don't know what language that is.
Never mind. I'm sorry. You reminded me of someone for a moment. That's all.
Oh. I hope it's someone that I remind you of that was a pleasant person.
Quite pleasant.
And she turns.
Quite pleasant.
It was very nice to meet you. She leans. "Come on, kids. We got to get started. It's cold out here, and there is learning to do. Get your books ready." And she heads in. The doors close. Your sister is 10 paces behind you. She's like, "Are you hot for our teacher?"
No, she reminds me of someone I knew over across in Europe. That's all. Now, come on. You want to go to Yanni's or you want to go in the schoolhouse?
Yeah, I want to go there.
All right, let's go. I will walk you there, and then just make sure you get home in time, all right? Yeah.
I need one moment. Give me 1 second. I'm going to mute my mic.
Anarchy?
Now where
This
the
intermission brought to you by.
I grabbed the gun.
Anarchy.
Went into the woods.
I'm back. Stop the anarchy.
Are you gonna be haunted today?
my-
fine.
My daughter is coming in from New York City tonight, and she is landed. So.
New York City.
We do release it on YouTube, although I do not do a podcast of it. I don't separate out the audio separately, but you can listen to it on YouTube, and it's just like a podcast. So you head on over to your aunt's. There is, as you're heading over, you see that you have to pass up the bridge that the co-op built. And of course, that is the money maker for the family, as your father was on the co-op that built it, and he makes money from that bridge every time someone crosses from the other states. And you arrive at your auntie's a good half hour after that. We'll get to that in a moment, though. Zebediah, you are heading into work, and you see Albie heading into work. Albie, you have a list of a couple people that have not shown up.
Dev, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing okay this morning. How are you doing?
You see Gus coming down the street too.
Not too bad. There's Gus. Got a couple people missing. I'm going to have to talk with Gus here in a minute, but how was your weekend?
You know, same old, same old. Just same as any other, but hopefully you had a good weekend. How's your sister and everything?
Leanne, she's good. She's good. Trying to get her to be a kid. Unfortunately, with me being away and Mom and Pa passing away, she had to kind of grow up quick while I was overseas. So now she apparently thinks she's 16 going on 30. You know? And while I appreciate her maturity, I would like for her to be a kid a little bit.
Well, can't say nothing about having being the youngest myself. I can't really say much about it, but I don't know. I mean, I think she's on the way. God, well, I'll definitely say a prayer about her though to kind of help her along too, and maybe let her enjoy her younger years a little more. So.
And Zebediah, as you're speaking, you see little Michard walking down the street. Looks like he's heading towards the school, maybe, but he's dressed a little bit old-fashioned, I suppose.
I'll say hi in French, and I'd say he's looking snazzy.
He smiles at you. How are you? How was that pie?
Oh, it was delicious. That was probably one of the best pieces of pie I've had in a long, long time. But don't tell my mama said that though.
Parlez-vous français?
Exactly. You going to school there? Oh, sorry. This is you've probably seen them before. This is Albie, and if Gus is here too, I'll introduce Gus as well, and I'll be speaking English to them. So
yeah, like Gus strolls up during like this interaction and just like kind of belts out to Albie. Now what sorry arses though we have to kick back into work.
I hand you the list, and as I hand you the list, I reach into my pocket and I hand you some bacon.
That is the best way.
You thought I was going for the flask, but what came out was bacon. There you go.
Yeah, the two on the list are Harvey Evans and Jules Oxman. The two of them have not shown up.
Jules Oxman
and Harvey Evans. And Michard looks over. Gus, can I get an intellect roll from you, please?
No.
Why are you saying that? Gus, you better eat that bacon I gave you. Leanne made that bacon.
I almost like this more than the whiskey. And like right before it goes into my mouth, almost, and then I take a bite. I rolled an 11.
All right, so this boy standing in front of you looks familiar, although it's one of the rare times you cannot put the name and face together or really know, like, it's just familiar-ish.
Gus, you all right?
Yeah.
You looking at that boy
okay
like,
Well,
there,
I gotta head on to school if you don't mind.
What's your name, boy?
Well, I'm Michard.
And I think that actually does ring a bell, right? Like
It does.
That's the kid that Lexi was seeing.
But did we hear that, or was that a conversation with just her sister? I can't remember.
Oh, you know what? I don't think you did hear that.
Yeah, the girls didn't talk to us about that.
That's right.
This just does.
Yeah, you're right.
That's
The name
why,
was familiar to me, too, that's why
as a player, I was like,
reacted to
I know this. Ashley does not.
Right.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Same.
Thank you for that clarification. Michard.
Yeah, Michard. It's French. Do you speak French?
Do I look like I speak French?
You look like you speak many languages.
Now let's round up those sorry arses.
Guys, did you know apparently Zeb speaks French?
He takes his little beret off and he bows. See you later, fellas. And he heads to the
What the hell was
school.
that? I lean over to you guys and I just kind of whisper, what
Yeah.
the hell was that?
Must be some kind of foreign curtsy.
Curtsy. Did he just curtsy at us in some European fashion? Anyways, yeah, let's go round these boys up. I'll let you do the first approach, because maybe they'll appreciate you better than me. So.
Well, I like those kind words, but not many people appreciate me.
Then what you doing? You want to come with? You got nothing going on? You can hang out.
Do we have anything going on?
You do not have anything going on.
I probably I was gonna go see Ashley, help them out, but I appreciate it though.
Okay.
And good to see you eating bacon instead of any kind of liquid. So yeah.
Yeah, I forgot my flask at home.
Well, I may pray that it stays lost, but you know what? We'll see. The Lord works in mysterious ways. So, but
I'm sure he does. You definitely catch a hint of sarcasm in there.
Thea,
not hidden, intentionally not hidden.
Thea, what do you do after you get that rifle in your hands?
She kind of just hugs it and then goes, "This is gonna be useless." And then she puts it down and goes, thinking, paces the room. Barricade. Okay, I can barricade. I can do that. And then she goes around looking for pieces of wood, nails, and a hammer. Angus, do you have that in your house?
Yeah, he would.
Yeah, somewhere.
So there's like a frantic just opening of drawers. Why would I put wood in here? I don't know. And after she finds like pieces of wood, she like starts to just just like a crazy conspiracy person, start just like hammering everything into place and trying to like board up the house.
Are you boarding up the front door?
No, she boards up the windows and then she goes and just puts to her they're heavy, but they're probably not heavy to like other people. And so she just blocks the door with like chairs and stuff, and then holds the rifle and just tries to not hyperventilate.
So you sit there with the rifle, nervously aiming at the door in case the wolves decide to turn that knob.
Yeah. How big was that thing?
It was about the size of a big buck, of a big deer.
Okay, big.
So probably a good...
Was it by
6
people?
foot tall at the shoulder. Yeah. Maybe even a little bigger than that.
Okay, yeah. And then she'll just after she has her panic attack, she'll go and think, all right, well, might as well. She's like, well, Angus is not going to be happy about me freaking about his house. So she goes and says, she goes to the kitchen and thinks about making something, and looks at what's in the cupboards.
And when you're in the kitchen, you can hear that there are children kind of outside. You hear the sound of kids.
She's still super on edge, so she just goes to a window and peeks through the little slat that that she made with the boarded up windows.
There are children look like they're walking to school.
Like they're walking to school.
Yeah.
At this time of day. Are they on the property?
Oh my gosh, it's not. Only one of them's a kid. The other one is Gabriel.
Oh, Gabe's walking around.
He's walking away from the school with some girl about your age.
She's gonna just she's gonna try to open the window
Yeah, you
And
can't open
wait,
the window.
I can't open the window.
No.
So she goes to the door and then
Okay.
shouts from the door. Crow is his last name. Mr. Crow! Mr. Crow!
Can you make me a perception check, Mr. Crow? It is definitely a dampened voice. What'd you roll?
Will a 16 do it for me, sir?
A 16 will. You hear barely just a little bit of a Mr. Crow from somewhere.
Do I know that Gus's house is near here?
You know
What
it's
houses
right
are near here?
Gus's. That's
Okay.
it.
Do I know which direction Gus's house is?
It's right there. You're passing it up on the
I
way.
look towards Gus's house. I don't look anywhere else. I just look right towards
Okay.
Gus's
The
house.
first thing that comes that you see that you find very unusual is that the windows are boarded up and really kind of in a ramshackle
Sloppily?
kind of way, not in a
Sloshwise, little side goggling.
yeah, they're all over
Yeah.
the place. and that's your reaction. You immediately like
Jump
trip
across.
it at the idea that Gus is going to come home to that house and it is going to be a terror for the town.
Run away!
I like.
No, my
You
my
see-
cat decided to hop on my desk and knock one of my lights off.
Okay.
There we go.
Thea in like the doorway.
Ms. Wooden, are you well?
No! No!
I
No!
mean, more quietly to Rebecca. I mean, I knew she wasn't well to start with, but that's a different issue. Why don't you know how to get aunties from here, right?
I know how. Yeah.
Go and get to aunties.
All right. All right.
I'm gonna check this out.
You're gonna go see Gus, huh? All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see Gus.
All right.
Thank
you.
Right, Ms. Wooden. What?
You see her like run back into the house and then like come out with like a gun, but she's not pointing it at you.
Cool.
But she just
Is
has it. And
Is
she,
it obvious she's never held a firearm before?
Probably,
With how she's holding it.
probably holding
bro.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
I-
like, can you
What?
shoot? Can you shoot? I
Quiet.
can't shoot.
If you can't shoot, why don't we start by putting down the gun, Miss Thea? Why don't we start there and you can tell me what has you all in twists?
So you get over to her, and she's just like, "There was this thing in the woods. It was so big." It's just-
Okay, well, thing in the woods, there's a lot of things in the woods.
No, you don't.
Can you be more specific for me?
Okay. It was like a big bug.
Okay.
Right. But I walked on. She pauses and she's just like, I walked on two legs. I'm not. I kid you not. I'm a whatever god person. And it had eyes all over its body.
Well, that's... Did it see you?
Yes.
Did it
Saw
see
me in the
you
house.
Did it see you looking at it?
Yeah, probably saw me looking at it with all his eyes all over its body.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. You haven't happened to respond to something where someone wasn't there in the woods recently, have you?
She recalls the time when. Well, I remember I heard Lexi in the woods, but I didn't see her, so I just kept going.
We're going to go take a quick visit over to my auntie. I was happened to be heading that way anyways. And what you hear as he reaches behind his back is that as you don't see him do it, but you see him reach behind his back, you hear that sound, and he just pulls his hands away, nothing free. And we're going to go ahead and walk together over to my auntie's real quick, okay?
Okay.
Apparently, he knows
Just-
how to use a rifle.
Yeah, so she just gingerly puts Angus's other extra gun back in the house and closes the door.
Yeah. I believe that my gun might actually have about as much kick as that rifle does. Damn near.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
Nothing
So
else.
why don't we go ahead and make our way over to?
All right. Okay.
Okay. And
Do you know about these things?
I know enough about them to know that they're trouble, and I know enough about them to know that when they pop up, it's better to go with people who know more than I do about them, and that's where we're headed.
All right. Okay.
So why don't we go ahead and again, I'll escort you to my auntie's. My sister will be there anyway. She's just about your age. It'll be okay. They'll be able to help. She'll be able to help you. My auntie will be able to help you and get you at least started on the right again on this. So let's start there and we'll go on from there. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
She just follows you.
You head out. Zebediah, you head over to see Ashley. You get over to the train station and you see him standing there as the train has just arrived. And there's a carcass over by the, off the tracks that crows are just, dismantling with their numbers. And he is standing there kind of staring at the train. Train's a little bit early. That's a good thing sometimes.
Well, I'll definitely walk up to Ashley and be like, "So you've been hunting now too, huh?" Doing that
The unfortunate thing was just on the tracks. Don't know, maybe one of the wolves from the other night got to it.
Oh. Well, it's a little. I don't know with everything going on. That's a little. I wouldn't say it's the best sign, but well.
It's definitely unseemly, but not much I can do right now, and we'll be buried in the snow soon enough. If not, the crows will carry off with the Karen.
True. Okay. Well, I didn't mean to bother to stop by if you need any help. So I'm done my shift at the graveyard. So if you need any help, I'm definitely here to lend a hand.
With the train so early, most of the tasks for the day are done. It's been slowing down with winter coming.
And
Well, then I came at a perfect time to not to do work.
As you're talking, you see a couple of people kind of sneak up and then slide under the train and cross over and go down the other. People sometimes do that when they have to cross and the train's blocking it. It's this long train. They will just climb through. That ain't safe, of course, but they made it unhindered.
You just shout out,
Two
"Don't make
boys.
it a habit."
And there's no response except you can kind of hear them run, like, oh, probably surprised that they were even seen, and they run. Albie, you have your list in front of you, and you know where these two boys live.
Yes. How's your weekend been with Miss Thea Wooden?
I mean, she's got a lot of learning to do, but she'll get there. She's got a bit of a chip in her shoulder, but I could tell that she's smart.
Yeah. I was thinking my sister could use some good friends with good heads on her shoulder. Maybe you guys could come over one evening for a meal. Might do Thea and Leanne some good to have somebody around their own age to talk to, other than us older guys.
Now that's mighty kind. I think I'll have to take you up on that.
You should. Leanne is almost, I shouldn't say almost. She's just about there as good as Mama. So, I don't know if you remember my Mama's cooking, but she could cook pretty good.
Oh, I remember your mama.
And Gus, you see that in Albie's hand piece of paper with the names of the two people he's got to go find and bring into to work.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you know about these gentlemen here, Harvey Evans? I mean, I know where they live, but you probably know them better than I do. What can you tell me about this?
Well, you know,
Jules.
Gus, that Harvey's, he's barely a man. He's 17 years old, and Jules even younger than that, 15.
Man, they're a bunch of youngins. Kids these days. They don't know good discipline, a good lesson. Seems like everybody's daddy's all lazy.
You know,
Times
they
are
both
changing.
live in town, though. They are not, their home is not that far from here, but, you know.
Let's go check
Speaking-
them out. Yeah.
Yeah,
What you say?
let's go check them out. Speaking of such, I mean, you have to be blind to see that you and Gabe are all staunch wise, and it seems like your daddy hasn't taught you how to solve your own disputes.
My daddy's dead. You know that, guys. My daddy died while I was over in Europe. So did my mama.
Yeah,
Left Leanne with nothing. And you
yeah,
know,
rest his soul.
my daddy taught me enough, and it's hard, man. You know, when we all went over there together, we all swore to each other we would stay together, have each other's backs, do everything possible to all come home together. And it's like I know it's not Gabe's fault. He got a commission. They sent him somewhere else. But it seems like when Gabe left, everything went to hell. His cousin got shipped somewhere. We don't know what happened. My brother died in my arms. Sam died in my arms. And then I was alone over there. So, I know it's not his fault. But sometimes it's hard not to point the finger and blame him. We had to talk about it the other night when we were drinking, but I think he blames himself too, so I'm trying not to be too hard on him, but guess the things I saw over there, it'll haunt me till the day I die. And it's hard to deal with all those emotions and then see Gabe sometimes and see that he's okay and everybody that we went over there with ain't. And I don't even like that I'm back. Kind of wish I would have not come back. It would have been a lot easier than dealing with everything. Town ain't the same. Hell, my family ain't even the same. Got nothing for me here, really. Sheriff won't give me a good job. I have to be working for these guys. Half the town thinks I'm just a narc, snitch, somebody they can't trust. I'm just trying to make a living to take care of my sister and Sam's mama. So, it's just a lot to deal with. So,
And as you're talking, you arrive to the first house of one of the boys.
Well, I'll tell you what my daddy taught me about
what's that?
keeping things bottled up. You gotta settle your disputes like a man. You either settle it with your words, or you fight fist and skull.
I mean,
So
I wouldn't mind punching Gabe in the face once or twice. I'm sure he wouldn't mind hitting me either once or twice. Got a couple reasons for not just even over there, just even before then, but
better
I
out
don't
than
think
in,
that's-
I always say.
But the problem isn't even Gabe. He's just, when I see him, I see everything that we went through over there. It's more of what's in here. So the words, fist, none that's really going to make a difference right now. I just got to learn to accept that they're gone and that we were lucky and made it back. And try to make the best of it. Push everything else down, I guess. Let's go see if this Harvey Evans is home.
All right.
All right.
Here.
You knock on the door, and a few moments later, the door opens. What did I tell you? What can I do for you, gentlemen?
Who's at the door? Is it his
Gus.
mom? His
It's his mother.
Miss
This
Evans.
is it. Go ahead, Gus.
Where's your boy at? We didn't see him at work.
Oh my gosh, he's been going across the tracks and stuff lately, and I don't know what's gotten into him. He knew he had to go to work today. And if you see him, can you ask him what the hell this is? And she said, hold on, stay there, Gus. I want to ask you something, because you've been around a long time. Hold on. And she goes back into the place, and she rummages through some stuff. And she walks over and says,
I look towards like Albie, kind of like confused. Like, what the?
And she brings a piece of paper. Oh, on the wrong one. Can you tell me what this thing is that he drew on it? I cannot figure out what I am looking at. And he used his father's pen, he will be furious. He is using his pen from his days in the army.
Thank your husband for his service, man.
And I'll drop this, by the way, in Discord. Make it easy for all you to see.
Is this the symbol that Lexi drew? Didn't she draw it for us? What the symbol was?
No, she
did, yeah.
she drew the stick.
She
Oh,
drew
she
the
drew
stick
the
symbol.
stick.
Yeah.
Do I recognize the symbol at all when we see it?
Not at all.
No, not even with my understanding of magic.
You know what? You both have understanding of magic, right?
No.
I do.
Okay. I'll give you a roll. It's not an easy roll, but I'll give you a roll.
Right. Let's see here. Can I use some of my intellect pool to reduce the difficulty a little bit?
You may. You can ease it by 1
Oh wait, never mind. That's with edge, right?
with your edge.
No, that's
I
with
don't have. I don't have
effort.
edge.
Then
That's with
Right.
effort, right?
with effort
Yeah.
you can, but I mean, how do you put effort? You got to kind of explain the effort.
True.
Dig deep into the lessons my mama taught me back in the day. So, all right. That's not too bad. That's a 14.
You do not recognize what this stuff is, but it is written in
Wow.
English. It's like instructions or something.
Well, Mrs. Evans, we don't know quite what that is, but if you don't mind, I wouldn't mind taking it. I know some people that may recognize this symbol.
Please, can you? He's a good boy, you know, and he is just him and that other boy. They've been going across the tracks
Jules?
and drinking. Yeah, Jules. Oh, that son of a bitch. They have been drinking. I know it. I know they're getting liquor somewhere. I don't know where from, but they're getting it.
Yeah. Well, thank you, man. Do you have an idea where on the other side of the tracks they're heading to? Just the general area? At least
No,
that way
but
we
they
can-
tell me they cross the tracks all the time to get out of town. So if that's where they're going, I don't even know what's over there. Gazzy's house is over there. The old cemetery's out that way. I don't know.
cemetery.
There's not a whole lot there.
Thank you, Mrs. Evans. You've been very helpful. We'll find your boy. We'll set him straight. Try to make sure they don't get in trouble with work, because I know how important this job is for you and your family.
Yeah, just get him to work. We need the money. We cannot afford him missing days of work or worse, losing his job.
I'll do what I can to make sure he doesn't lose his job. I'm sure Gus here will too.
We'll get this all straightened up, ma'am.
Thank you, Gus. You're a good man.
Thank you kindly. Like,
Yeah.
now, and like, Gus is looking at this and like, now what type of sadist kind of?
Think about it. The Lexi was talking about her and her friends were playing with a stick and paper with some symbol on it. She gave us the symbol on the stick. This must be the symbol on the paper.
Yeah, it says hold a staff. That's got to be related to that.
I would talk to my mamaw about this, but she's no longer here either. Gabe's auntie's pretty good with that. I think you know that, don't you now there, Gus? You know all about Gabe's auntie. Anyways, before
We
I
go way
digress.
back.
Gabe's
Yeah,
auntie has
I heard
delivered
about-
some of your siblings a long time ago.
But we should probably go track these boys down first. Maybe Ashley's seen them by the tracks. 'Cause, you know, he's over there working the tracks, so maybe they know. Maybe he knows where they're at. We can
Yeah, let's
talk
go
to him
see.
and-
Let's go see Ash.
And the train starts moving after a while. Ashley and Zebediah, and you see the boys cross. They cross over the river where, you know, slide, kind of skating along the ice because it is frozen to the other side, and they start heading to the southeast, which, you know, that's kind of the direction of the old cemetery, the really old one. And there ain't nothing else that way, so could just be the woods, though. And you hear people
Think
coming
them kids
up
are getting
from
into
behind.
trouble?
After everything
was that
we...
Scott? Keep going. I'm sorry. I thought Scott was saying something. My bad.
Yeah, and you hear from behind some people coming up on you.
I just reply to Zeb as I'm turning around, like, well, after everything we heard about the other day, wouldn't surprise me if it's the same kind of trouble. And I sort of side glance to see who's coming up.
It is Gus and Albie.
Ashley,
Zebediah.
Zeb.
Ashley,
Gus, Albie.
we found
We're
some
looking-
more, and I like kind of hold up the paper with like the symbol, and seems like we got some more disrespectful folk up to no good again.
I don't know
Zebediah,
if
do
they're
you have
disrespectful.
understanding magic?
Yes, I do.
Can you make me a understanding magic roll, please?
Okay, well, not today. That's a 1. So look at it and go,
Aw.
huh?
Oh, well,
Looking like
one,
upside
perfect.
down, like, what else?
I get a GM intrusion at no cost for that.
Oh,
I will
didn't
definitely
know.
take advantage of that. So you were looking at it, and you don't recognize it, but I have to think about what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to have to
Do your
come back
worst.
on that. That is a complicated intrusion, and I'm not sure where I'm going to go with it at the moment. As a matter of
Ashley,
fact,
I don't.
I think this would actually be a very good place for us to break.
Have you seen this?
Cage burns up into fire.
Nose starts bleeding.
All right, folks, we will see you in 2 weeks. We'll not be here next week. Everyone have a happy holiday and enjoy some family or whatever you do. Friends Christmas, if you do Friends Christmas, whatever it's going to be. I'm really appreciative of you coming in and enjoying some time with us. This will be up on YouTube. I think I'm going to get it done on Friday, so we'll have it ready for the weekend. And
God, did you say Friends or French Christmas?
Friends Christmas.
Ah,
Oui, oui.
we have a whole lot of French going on tonight.
Friends Christmas.
Join
French
away.
fries Christmas. Wee wee.
Oui, oui.
Have a good night, everybody.
That boy has
See you in 2 weeks.
Thanks for
Bye.
watching.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a good night. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Burning rock, crackle smoke out of the mountain's mouth, hollowed by a cut, by a slash, by a fiery blow. Running through the valley like it's running through my veins, while red-eyed crows keep watch underneath the blood-red moon. My slunch-wise soul cries out to rise up against the tide of dusty songs cut hard from the dark mountain stone. Cut hard from the dark mountain stone. Cut hard from the dark mountain.